Wabunge kurwase kaunti ya Nairobi nigo besokire na kwegera umwaziri bw'ekibesa Julius Migoso Gamba oso umwaziri bw'ekibesa Omusike John Mbadi no umwaziri bw'ekibesa Omusike Julius Migoso Gamba igoro y'ekibesa chikogenda ase chisukuru gose school capitation asebona batebiru na kolengana n'ekibesa cyabeta chigwetigwa ne bunge nigo ekegancha gya serikali igyabeta kigochibwatoka kulinda umubaro w'abana nigo gendete komentekana ikigikwirira obo tutukana konyara koba bokwenekigwa Josephat Makura Moracha otuwariga nere roboti urwasinchira yoboikirano nechinga kingana ya masomo egendete kureta liberera line na ase serikali yateba tibwa chibese chisaine chikogenda ase chisukuru bono lituko lya rero niga barayiboro gongorwa Nairobi bayigereire serikali ase batebire abana nigo bare abange gwetania chibese chiri chikobagwa kure nigo baganirie bungere emente chibesa ali abana baranyora masomo boikirano.
No law or policy has changed from our engagement with the two cabinet secretaries. No law has changed. The official capitation, on the official capitation. What has changed is the actual amount reaching the school, and this has everything to do with the population growth and budgetary constraints. And we are saying this based on the engagements that we've had with the two cabinet secretaries. Parliament approved the full capitation allocation, and the National Treasury disbursed the funds in the ratio of 50% in term 1, 30% in term 2, and the remaining 20% scheduled for term 3. This is also on record, and we have been able to do that in our engagement. However, when you calculate the approved funds against the real number of students in our schools, especially the fast-growing urban areas like Nairobi, the effective figure per learner ends up being closer to the 16,000, which the Cabinet Secretary had spoken about. This is not because of a cut, not by National Assembly, and certainly not by the National Treasury. It's because our schools are absorbing more students than the budget anticipated, or that our data persons and the persons in charge of collating and reconciling data have been unable to reconcile. The difference between what NEMIS has captured, what is the actual number of students, continues to be a shifting target, something that we as members of Parliament from Nairobi constituency would like to urge that Parliament, in its role of oversight and scrutiny, work together to get for the people of Kenya what is the actual number of students registered under NEMIS, the ones who are students but not registered under NEMIS, so that we are able to plug the gap between the money that we budget and the money that actually gets to school.
Abasabire namba y'abana bagosomero isigwe boikirano naliera abiro ongechu school konyora chibesa muneganeiria.
We need an assurance that the data for all the school-going children and students in this country will be captured so that we don't have a gap of those who are not in NEMIS, and we still use them to disburse the capitation. So I think this is the problem that we have a big gap in the Ministry of Education where the data does not correspond to the capitation that is disbursed to school.
Abasabire serikali kurigiria abana bali bagosoma ase chisukuru kiri chietenerete.
For us in Nairobi, remember, we have children also who are in ABET schools. And so even when government does all this, which I agree they'll have to do in their public schools, but we have to ask ourselves, who is this child? This Kenyan child who is in Nairobi, who is in an ABET school because maybe is unable to join a public school with many reasons. How do we deal with that? And for us, we are also beneficiaries of the same, of building more classrooms so that we can see our government giving us this capitation. The solution should be Parliament in a supplementary. Can we put the remaining amounts that were supposed to go to school, period. But also the principals. Because today, there's a principal who has survived in that situation. She has no debt, she's building, she's doing. Kwani yeye ni tofauti na yule mwingine?
Nonyina wani bagokeiro muraiwe kiama gia ODM umusikira ira Amolo Odinga asogotwara umusimamo bwoko bwatesie serikali ya William Samuel Ruto.
We want to thank the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga for the assurances by himself and the party ODM that he leads, that the broad-based arrangement that he has with the government and the establishment of William Samoei Ruto will continue the agenda to unite Kenyans and is stable and continues to remain the official position of the party.
Kuripoteri geta seni geta ya TV kurwa magacha manene yebunge, maleta na Josephat Makura Moracha.